Hello everyone. Today on Old Man Wrenching, I'm going to try and make this short and sweet because I've seen a lot of videos out there on drop target rebuilds. This is a tin bank out of a solar city, and I thought I would just share some of my findings while working on one of these. The easiest way that I have found to install these fingers is I'm gonna try and do something that I haven't seen anybody else do, and that is actually film this. But effectively, you want this to start the little rod through here, and then install that on the rod. It's like that. And then once you have it there, you take the spring, the lower spring, which is going to be buried up underneath this lift bar. So you want to make sure you have all the springs along the back before you even attempt this. And then grab a hold of one of the springs, whichever one you're working on. And sometimes it goes easier than others. So since I'm filming, it'll probably be difficult. But anyway, you grab a hold of the spring, and then you want to get it on that finger. All right, so now you got the lower one locked on. You can kind of let it go back. Then I grab my new drop target, which these came from Steve Young's Pinball Resource. If you haven't bought from him, I recommend it. This is verbatim, exact same part that came out of it, just new. So then you want to put it through here. Now the hard part is the finger into the slot, because it doesn't want to go this far enough to get in there. And then when you do get it in there, then you run into the problem where you can't get it underneath of this piece. So what I've been doing is pull it back as far as I can and go a little bit to the side, and sometimes it'll release off of the rod. That's okay, you can do that too. And then just allow it to rest. And once you've got it in that position, and you can't put the spring on, the upper spring on, before you put the rod in, because there's not enough space in the slot where the drop target goes through. So the next part, you want to get this guy on there, let that release, and you always want the orientation to be sort of like that, because when the spring is attached, you want it to be able to go forward. And if you're in this position, this outer area is going to want to bind up on the drop target. So you kind of want it to go that orientation into the drop target. So now I'm just looking through the top up here to try and get that on. And if you have trouble with one side of the spring not wanting to fit into the opening, try the other side of the spring. They're the same. It's going to end up the same. All right, and then again, I want this guy facing that direction. And I'm just going to pull him down and hook him. And I usually use my other finger just to help bend it a little bit, get it on the tab. And there it is. And so that's how all those work. Now, something else I haven't seen anybody talk about is on this end, you've got, I'm going to try and zoom in. Okay, you've got this spring right in here. Let me get my tool. Let's see. Yeah. So the spring loops around this post, and that post is really just a screw from the other side. But it loops around there, then it goes under the rod, loops around a few times, and then it exits from the lower side of the rod and comes up, and then loops over the reset bar. And so the order, when you're putting this rod together, you want to make sure that you have the bush on the rod. I mean, you could do this after the fact. I chose to leave the E-clip locking ring on one end, just to kind of keep track of it when I had it just sitting on the table. But I could remove it and then add this on after the fact. But I chose to stack it, so I have that on the rod already. And then it just goes inside. One thing you may find is when you disassemble it is the spring may actually be broken. I've had 2 of them now on my drop targets that have been broken. Also, these nylon collars, they break and then end up as 2 pieces. They're not supposed to be 2 pieces. So if yours is 2 pieces, you need to order another one. And you can get those again from either Steve Young, or I think Marco's sells those as well. Whichever way you want to go. But that's it. And it's just lather, rinse, repeat all the way down. But I hope this video clarifies a few things. It's not terribly difficult. Anyway, that's it for today. Catch you later. Bye.